Los Angeles, California. Will you not accept it? In the use of the violet consuming flame, call your presence into action to complete the activity quickly. Then stand forth joyous and free, for God, the mighty I Am presence in you, in your heart, is your certain victory. I thank you. Los Angeles, California. Beloved ones of Earth, how rejoiced we are on our far distant planet at the expansion of your light on Earth. Do you think it so strange that one might be in your presence from that far distant planet, Venus? Yet if you consider it for just a moment, to us who are free of limitations, distance, as you know it, is not considered. I know it is not easy for you to comprehend that just yet, but you will. One day you will understand as clearly as we do how, as you enter into your freedom which is your mighty I Am presence, you transcend time and space. Then the so-called far distant planets are so near. You must realize, precious ones, that the Ascended Master, as you have been told many times, does not recognize time or space. Even this good messenger, as he went from place to place with Saint Germain, did not, for they went from one part of the earth to another in from 2 to 3 minutes, in that body which Saint Germain created for his use. 152. Will you try earnestly not to analyze? Just feel for you there is no longer time nor space. If you can do that, you will enter into your complete freedom so much more quickly. Shall I tell you just how I feel tonight? It is as if we were in a great schoolroom and you were having your graduation exercises. That really is true. You are, beloved ones of Earth, entering into your freedom. As I speak these words tonight, will you be kind enough to accept my radiance which I pour forth into your feeling world to enable you to feel fully the assurance of that? You are entering now into your full freedom. I say to you, that no longer can human creations bind you in any way. Oh, the joy which floods the room as I speak those words. It shall act with definite power until you fully realize, feel satisfied, and find manifest in your outer world of activity all the perfection which is there. We must know that you beloved ones have been willing and have joyfully entered into the requirements for this great perfection, making a condition for our reception which you do not yet comprehend. You will one day know what that means. We find the earth ready, willing, and humbly accepting the great assistance which the wondrous Kumaras have so long poured forth in their mighty radiance to the earth. We, myself included, are but children in comparison to the great Kumaras who. 154 Ascended Master Discourses. Came forth so many hundreds of thousands of years ago to assist the earth and to hold it in balance, until enough of its children could be raised into perfection and hold the balance themselves within the earth. This is being rapidly accomplished now, and ere long their work will be finished. When it is, there will be thousands in America who will see Sanat Kumara stand before them in the tangible, visible body, a youth as of 16 summers. As you were told today, regardless of your silver hair, regardless of your appearance of age that sometimes seems to weigh heavily upon you, if you but realized it, you could shatter all appearances and human accumulation. In a few hours you could stand in eternal youth, beauty, and perfection. Mankind has forgotten its dominion because individuals have forgotten the light, the life, the intelligence, the energy which gives them life, eternal youth, and beauty. Is it not a pity that mankind has forgotten this? Life knows no age, energy knows no age. Substance knows no age. Then what is it which feels age? Just the limited human concepts, because mankind has forgotten that everyone is really a divine being. Tonight as I speak to you, please feel the radiance from each word entering into your being to become all-powerfully active there, that you may hold the substance of that which I convey to you all-powerfully active within you. Oh, dear ones, you must realize that it is not just the words which we flash before the messenger which are important. They are but to hold your attention while the great inner work is being done. All words are cups carrying certain qualities, but the far greater activity is in the inner radiation which goes forth into your world. Is it necessary for me to remind you tonight that in your acknowledgement of your mighty I Am presence, all its great activity takes place from within out? Therefore the great accomplishment, and greater percent of it, is accomplished within, before you become aware of it without. Your activity has previously just reversed that. You have tried to act from without in, and of course entered into greater and greater limitations, but when you realize that your heart is the presence of the mighty I Am acting within you, then you must know that it would produce perfection for you if there were not something acting within your feeling world, which was clothing it with less than its full perfection. Hold close to this now, so you can have forever dismissed from your feeling world everything, so not one thing longer limits you. We are making a tremendous effort to free a certain number of mankind for that which is to follow. You beloved ones here, of your own volition have entered into a joyous willingness to make yourselves ready for this. Then you invite us to come and give every assistance possible. 156 Ascended Master Discourses. To this beloved brother we give great credit for having been the means of establishing an activity with such great volume, through which we can do certain things that will not only give yourselves freedom, but will spread the light forth powerfully to give others freedom. When I say freedom, I do not mean just one thing, but complete freedom from every limiting thing that has ever been in your feeling world or its activity. You beloved ones who have entered these wondrous closed groups have entered into a new world. It is also quite wonderful to see those who are really wonderful, sincerely honest with themselves, yet who feel that they are not quite ready to enter this great activity. So we bless all and keep on pouring forth our encouragement to strengthen them, until they too will feel themselves quite strong enough and ready to enter into the fuller and greater activity which is their freedom. I try to find words to convey my feeling to you of the joy I have in coming into your midst and seeing such a great light within you. For only a few short years ago the atmosphere about you was comparatively dense. In 1900 when we came and looked over humanity, we saw so few whose light had expanded until it could be amplified to give them strength, courage, and dominion. We found it could not be done then. And we had to withdraw. Then Sanat Kumara said to us, the time will come, possibly nearer than you think at present, when you can give the assistance which is needed. Sure enough, in his great wisdom that day has arrived. Oh, beloved children of earth, you can scarcely comprehend before your ascension what you owe to our beloved Saint Germain. He has, because of his great courage, brought this light and freedom to you and mankind. Will you remember the description of him which the messengers have read to you from the fire of creation? Read it often, dear hearts, and see what a mighty being he is from your earth. Remember, Saint Germain is a product of your earth, and in spite of all of us, he had the conviction, the courage, the strength to stand before a great group of us and say, I shall try out that which I feel, and his victory came. I say this to you tonight, beloved ones, because of the many people from the Orthodox world who cannot quite understand why Saint Germain should take a place with Jesus. Dear ones, Jesus is doing his mighty work, and so is Saint Germain. As the beloved Charles Sindelar has placed them hand in hand in the magazine, so do they act for the children of earth. Remember that, dear hearts. In spite of anyone, Saint Germain must have credit for the courage. 158 Ascended Master Discourses. Which led him to try out that which has become a success for mankind in setting individuals free. Unless you do this, you will but delay your freedom. Not that he is even interested whether you give him credit or not. But the law of your life and your earth is that credit must be given where it is due, and an acknowledgement must come forth from mankind for what has been accomplished. That law of life for your earth is irrevocable. It is imperative, because mankind has drawn away from perfection. Of their own free will, all individuals must come back through gratitude and acknowledgement, giving credit to those who lift them out of the limitations into which they have drawn themselves. Once you understand clearly these mighty fundamentals, then you will enter much more quickly and easily into your freedom. Think of it, beloved children of earth. In the assistance which is given you today, the effort of attainment is 1000% less than it was at the time Saint Germain, and those of us who are assisting attained our freedom and ascension. Now mark you, that is comparatively recent. Does a few hundred years seem a long time to you? Well, a few thousand years does not seem long to us. Why does it seem long? Now, let us come down to your human experiences before you entered into this understanding of the mighty I Am presence. For a moment remind yourself of how many times, time hung heavy upon your hands. You did not know just what to do with yourself. Remember that. Then what happened? You began to conceive ideas to kill time. As the great one Arcturus mentioned this today, may I repeat it to you again tonight? Do not ever use that word or expression again, I want to kill time. You want to transcend time. Will you be kind enough to use that expression, I want to transcend time? Do you know that tonight you are really transcending time and space? Why? Because your attention is upon me. I do not consider time nor space. It no longer exists for me, and that is why I am here tonight, to help you to more quickly transcend time and space. Now, what takes place in this activity? First, you will find yourself doing the outer activities with a greater ease and a speed you had not before thought possible. Then you will find this, that, and the other thing is accomplished quickly. You will find much more time to give to your mighty I Am presence, and when you do have extra time, please do not spend it in playing bridge and such things. Oh, it is not that we do not want you to be happy, but see what your attention is upon. Do you know what is in your Earth's atmosphere concerning cards, and what your playing cards represent? The element of gambling. That is the general consciousness which 160 Ascended Master Discourses pervades mankind, dear ones. Do you want to be a part of that consciousness? There are many other things through which you can have great happiness. Now do not think that I am trying to take anything away from you of which you are fond. I am just citing to you the law. We do not urge anyone to follow what we say, but we must cite the law which is acting within you and your world. In our activity upon Venus, we have the most wonderful rhythm in the dance, and music most exquisite, but never in any of those activities is there a thought of anything but perfection, for as one enters into that great swing or rhythm of ecstasy and enjoyment, so does one learn to feel the glories of the rhythm of the universe. Ere long, all broken rhythm will disappear from your earth, for it has brought such distress upon mankind in recent years. It has shattered many hundreds of thousands. It has shattered the emotional bodies until they were unable to gather and hold sufficient cohesive activity to maintain their health. Thus has it shattered the forms, and they are lost so far as use to the individual is concerned. Do you know why the majority of the savages in the jungle live so short a time? Because of the tom-tom rhythm that is in their jungle activities. Few live past middle age. Now and then one who through the feeling has conceived a certain part of the law lives to be sometimes 80 years old or a little more. Try to comprehend the difference between that and the former activity. Before the understanding of the ascension was brought into the outer world, many of mankind maintained life in the body for 2, 3, 4, 5, or 600 years. The beloved Chara, who spoke at one of your groups recently, maintained life in his body for 500 years before he made the ascension, because he had been one who came into that understanding through the old activity of the occult law. Before it was my privilege to set it aside for the earth. You know of the messenger's unyielding stand on this point and have heard him speak so firmly of that night in the royal Teton, when I issued this decree for the earth which has gone forth. That decree is doing a most wonderful work for the earth, and I shall forever bless this good messenger for the strength and courage with which he asserted the cosmic authority with which I give this forth, to so many of mankind. Oh, how greatly we love and give praise and thanks for his courage and strength to go forth and carry this message which means everything to mankind. That old occult law had to fade from the earth because of the wreckage it has wrought in mankind. I tell you, dear hearts, it has brought forth greater wreckage into humanity than you will ever know. 162 Ascended. Because human concepts had crept in from every angle and, oft times, it was used to hold fear over mankind instead of to give freedom. Of course some of the occult teachers and students who had done that very thing were fierce in their attitude against this good brother, but they could not touch him. So, dear ones, have all the courage in the world in calling your mighty I Am presence into action. Stand with firm determination by that which you call into action, for there is no means possible by which you can fail, in anything, when you call your mighty I Am presence into action. I want to charge into your feeling world my very powerful conviction that you cannot fail in a single instance, dear hearts, in your application of your mighty I Am presence. You cannot do it. I will not accept failure for any one of mankind. Every one of humanity shall apply this law of the mighty I Am presence to their eternal freedom. I shall stand by it, for it was decreed that I be that authority for the earth, and having sent it forth, I stand back of it and of all of you until you have your freedom. There is naught in human creation that shall ever stop your freedom or that shall ever stop the freedom of America. America shall be free, forever. There is naught in humanity that shall interfere with it. Remember, all that seems to have such a desire is but an appearance, and you have been taught to say to all such appearances, you have no power, and they have not. Oh, beloved children of earth, if once you understand the authority that you have in all appearances of imperfection or destructive activity, and you say the moment they appear, you have no power, then they have not, for you or your America. Do you not see, beloved children of earth, when you issue that mighty decree, the power of the universe rushes forward into action to fulfill your requirement, because you are calling for the freedom of America through the power of the mighty I Am Presence, which is 1,000 times more powerful than anything that would bring destruction. See how you have the full power and authority in issuing these decrees, by saying to every appearance, whether it is individual, city, or nation, to every appearance that is less than divine justice, you have no power. Mean it. Feel it. And let that mighty decree go forth doing its perfect work. You are yet, beloved ones, only partially aware of the powerful good which is in your hands in the acceptance of your presence, and in the issuing of these decrees. Decree a thing and it shall be so unto you. Again feel these words, your outer determination is the activity of your inner will, that mighty I Am Presence. All of you have determination. If you become angry, have you not plenty of determination? 164 Ascended. You are dauntless for that moment. Then, that same determination released on the constructive side of your activities becomes many times more powerful, because it is in agreement with the law of life. You can generate it and call it forth at will. Do not let your human intellect ever say to you, you cannot do it. You can, and you do realize it more each day. Use your determination to hold in obedience everything from your own human intellect, your human creations, or anyone else's, which would attempt to interfere with your decree. Then you have become the master of whatever you call forth into manifestation and action. As you advance, oh, beloved ones, in a clearer, more definite understanding of the power which is within your hands to use, through the acknowledgement of your presence, you cannot make any mistake. There are a few who have tried to interfere with this law and make false accusations against this good brother. They have been foolish enough to think they could, through their mighty I Am Presence, bring destruction to him. What nonsense! God help those unfortunate creatures who utter falsehood against his character. We stand back of him. And every human being on the face of this earth that utters aught against him or his co-worker shall swallow those words. Mark what I tell you. Do you think when we have found those who have been courageous enough to carry forth this message, and then someone comes along and tries to besmirch their characters, that we shall stand idly by and see it attempted further? I want you to spread this word to anybody who attempts to fill your mind with such falsehood. He has been clean and pure enough to be able to receive dictations from beings who for thousands of years have been wholly pure and perfect. That any creature is so foolish as to attempt to spread falsehood concerning such a one's character is inconceivable. The foolishness of individuals who have once thought that they could bluff mankind into obedience to their nefarious work proves they have lost their way. No longer does the bluff of human creation affect the student of the light. The pitiful thing is that those individuals shall reap the agony of that which they send forth, and nothing can prevent it because they have set it into action themselves. I want you to know, oh, beloved ones, that the light protects its own. You are children of the light of God that never fails. Through your call, and the use of the violet consuming flame to keep all creation which has been drawn about you consumed before it finds expression, you will never find anything in the world that can harm you. Remember, precious ones, that anything, accident or otherwise, which happens to an individual 166 Ascended, who has come into the understanding of the I Am Presence, can only come because there has not been sufficient use of the violet consuming flame to keep the discordant creation, the past creation, dissolved as fast as it comes to the surface. That is the only reason. Now as mankind is coming more and more to understand the imperative need of calling the presence into action to use the violet-consuming flame for them, students and individuals will always find themselves on guard and protected. I thank you, beloved ones, and in the great love of my being, I pour forth to you your freedom, your invincible protection, your quick journey into freedom from all limitations, and your ascension. Will you not accept that from me? To all, I say, do all your understanding permits to cooperate and have it as quickly as possible. I thank you.